Good afternoon and welcome to Houston Real Estate Today. I'm your host, Steve Levine, publisher of Real Estate Executive and Builder Architect magazines. Always my pleasure to bring you this show each and every Friday right here where we have great guests with great information and just a so-so host. So I knew great people, great information for you listeners, and you wouldn't even need a host. So and we got a great show today. We're going to be talking about the Houston real estate market today, July 11th. And we're going to talk about things to do before finding your builder remodeler. Be prepared for selecting a builder remodeler. We're going to talk about a little bit about a career in real estate, as I've had a lot of requests for that. And what if you want to build a house right now? Now what do you do? And we're going to have a financial and mortgage update with my good friend and sponsor, Renee Sabatier of Urban Financial, who's been our sponsor since our very first show back in November. How you doing, Renee?
Good, Steve. Good. How are you?
Had a nice little get-together last night at the social.
It was fantastic.
Had a previous guest party last night and had a lot of great networking, and it was fun.
It was a good group.
Thanks for picking up the tab on that.
No problem.
Oh, you didn't pick it up either? Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Anyway, we've got a terrific show today, and first up is the very lovely Virginia Grace Green of Grace & Company, and Virginia's been a dear friend of mine for a long time. She's a member of the Publishers Advisory Board. Virginia's been on both sides of the real estate desk, both as a real estate associate, affiliate with title companies and home warranty companies, and now is broker-owner of Grace & Company Realtors, and they have offices in Houston and Austin. Very active in the real estate community, a past president of the Women's Council of Realtors, Greater West Houston chapter, which is where I think we met.
Yeah.
And also is president-elect of the Women's Council of Realtors Houston chapter, which has a big event coming up, and you real estate professionals listen in, you want to hear about that. In this segment, we'll tell you about what's happening with WCR Houston chapter. And Virginia, finally, I get you on the show. I'm so excited.
I am too, Steve. Thank you so much for having me.
Been asking and asking and asking you to come on the show. Well, of course, she's always busy, usually traveling to Austin on Fridays.
Back and forth.
But anyway, wanted to ask you a little bit, Virginia, about how and when you decided to get involved in real estate.
Well, gosh, Steve, it has always been something I thought I would enjoy, but I had two small children and didn't think it would work with all of that. So unfortunately, I had some life circumstances that put me back out in the job market, and I love the building industry. I like to build myself, and I also have a background in design. I started in home tending to start out with, and realized very quickly I got to sell most of the houses I lived in, and decided that a smart girl would get her license and make a lot more money.
And that's always smart. You're right. A lot of people, I like to ask how people got involved in the real estate industry. Some back doing it, some thought they were doing something else, or got in part-time and just loved it and loved helping people, buyers and sellers. Buyers get their dream home, and sellers
Absolutely.
sell their home for the right price in the shortest possible time. So it really gets really inside you. You know, it gets in there.
It does. It's a passion.
And for those who are considering a career in real estate, what would your advice be to them?
I believe the real estate industry is one that offers so many varied venues to use in the business arena. Number one, working with buyers and sellers is my very favorite, but there is every avenue that attaches to that, whether it's being a home inspector, lender. There's just a myriad of structures, but I think the real estate industry gives people the opportunity to be an entrepreneur. Even if you're with a large brokerage, you're your own business person. You can run your business like you see fit, and it gives you the ability to stand on your own 2 feet and really do the things you've got in your heart to do.
We counted on the show once how many people are involved in every real estate transaction. Some people just think it's a mortgage person and 2 realtors and a title person. Mm-mm. And we counted over 27 different people involved in every real estate transaction. And for those considering a career in real estate, I would gotta apply for Champion School of Real Estate, because they've had more cover honorees or more alumni hit the cover of Real Estate Executive than any other school. So I always like to say, if you're considering a career in real estate, start with Champion School of Real Estate. And now, Virginia, you're right there in the trenches. You're working the real estate business as a broker, and you've got agents in your Houston and Austin.
Right.
And what's your take on the Houston real estate market today?
Well, I think it's fabulous. There's been a slight downturn in the nation, but I think we need to just really correct what's out there on the airwaves. The market here in Houston is fabulous. If you listen to the mayor of our city, who's got all the inside know, we're going to have 265,000 new job opportunities over the last year and coming up. Our Fortune 500 companies, we're number 2 in the nation with Fortune 500 companies. When I hear that, I hear people moving in and people being transferred out. And so the real estate industry is really an awesome opportunity, and Houston is thriving. Even if you're doing the small market or the large market, the median price right now is $155,000. The average price is around $214,000, so we're in a good market number.
Right.
And people coming from the rest of the country that are coming in for these job opportunities recognize that Houston is one of the prime places, really in the world, if you get down to it, for good real estate market, for schooling, for opportunities in every arena. We've got it all here in Houston, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Top markets in the country to relocate to. We've got great job opportunities.
That's right.
Low interest rates. Sounds like a great time to be a buyer in
It's a
Houston.
great time.
And if it's a great time for a buyer, that means it must be a great time for a seller, because they have to have something to buy, right?
Absolutely. And if you really look at the stats that are on the market today, the Inner Loop area and the close-in proximities, West U, Spring Branch, Inwood Forest, Garden Oaks, all of these places are really booming right now. As a matter of fact, the statistics show that there are twice as many sales as there are listings available. So if you really want to find where the market is hot, the Inner Loop would be that place.
Sure.
Not that the suburban areas are not moving, because they are. And right now, everyone's trying to settle down before the school year. So there's a lot of buying and selling going on. And just as a suggestion, too, if people really want to get their home on the market, especially if it's one of those hot areas I just mentioned, call me. I'd love to list your home, because that market is really moving.
And we're going to end with your contact information for those that are interested. It's a good time for me to say, if you've got a question for Virginia Grace Green with Grace and Company, or one of my other guests, you can go to Houston, email us at info@HoustonRealEstateToday.com. I don't take any callers, because I don't want anybody asking me anything, because I pride myself on how little I know and get away with it.
Yeah.
I just know the great people to ask for great information. So, Virginia, I know you must have some great listings. You want to share a couple that you have as listings now?
I'd love to.
Go ahead.
I've got several. One listing, I want to say this about all agents in our Houston Association of Realtors. Most agents are very genuinely concerned about the people behind the listing. In other words, your seller and or your buyer. And I have one listing that really needs to sell, and it is priced right.
Okay.
It is out off of Luetta and 249.
Excellent.
It's on Hiddenwood. And the people that were in that house both needed to be moved to assisted living. They were unable to maintain the home. So I've got something that's really good for an investor or somebody that wants to do a redo. And it is out right close to HP or the compact area. So I'd love for that listing, 15019 Hiddenwood, to be recognized.
How many bedrooms? How many baths?
4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths.
Excellent.
Nice fireplace room, huge yard, big pine trees.
All right.
And it needs a family to come love it.
And I bet that family should call you first.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and you know, the school districts out there are really good too. So their children, if they've got children to consider, that would be awesome.
And that's Spring area, isn't that Spring?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the way to Tomball. Any other listings you want to tell us about?
Listings, but big sales, yes. We've got lots of good things happening in West U and also down on the coast. You know, as agents in this area, we cover the greater Houston Metroplex. And so not only do we sell in Austin, but we also have some things going down on the coast, not in Galveston, in the Kemah League City area. Some nice sales down in that area with resort-type property, bed and breakfast, and commercial-type
Very nice.
properties. So
Very nice.
thank you for asking.
You're very welcome. Tell me, why wouldn't a home sell in such a market?
There's Probably two main reasons in my experience. Number one, if it's not priced right and the seller is not being realistic about how they're pricing their home. The best way to sell a home is to put it out there at the right price, and to have it, number two, be prepared to sell. And that means that it needs to be cleaned up, streamlined, and from the landscaping, the front door, all the way through the house, it needs to show beautifully. And I think these new TV shows that show people how to get their homes ready for sale are awesome. They help us out a lot.
I think it's awakened people to the need for staging a home, and we've got a great stager right here in the studio with us, Miss Connie Parsons, with
Yes.
Lasting Impressions. Also our videographer and the sponsor of our Flickr photo albums. You can see all the photos of the folks on the show. And the videos are up there on the website. It's all being archived, thanks to Connie. But staging really has helps us home sell a lot faster.
Absolutely. And it's all about meeting the buyer's need, and to set that house up to show that it does meet the needs that they're looking for. And once you put the staging into place, it automatically leads them right in, and they have the understanding. Because most people don't have the ability to visualize their things in some place. So this gives them the schematic or the scale and that sort of thing, and also focuses the use of each room.
Tell me if I was a buyer client of yours and I came to you and asked you flat out, should I buy a new home or should I buy a resale? What would your advice be?
Well, I would have to really question them about their goals. Number one, their timeline would be very important, because if you're starting from scratch, you're going to have several months of construction going on. And so it depends, number one, on their timeline, but it's so much fun. I think everybody should have the option to build at least one house in their lifetime. I love the construction of a home and participating in it. So if they're in that stage of life, as life does have seasons, that's a great opportunity. Some of the things that people who want pre-existing, they don't want to have to put in a yard. They don't want to have to do the landscaping. They're hoping that somebody's already got the window treatments in. And those are some of the things that first-time buyers don't have that little bit of extra cash to do.
And so it really depends on their goals.
On their goals.
We're also blessed as realtors to have great builders that are members of the Greater Houston Build Association, GHBA. We've got one on the show with us today, Frank
Absolutely.
Bradford, and we're going to hear more from him. But we do have a lot of great opportunities here for building a home, don't we?
Absolutely, and the market is really good. And I think one of the neatest things that are happening right now is the build on your own lot, and also the recreational building that we've got going on. And I had the privilege of meeting Frank Bradford at lunch. He's on the show here with us, and I just think I want to seize the opportunity and say, hey, Frank, if you don't have a realtor, I'm available, because his inventory sounds wonderful.
Even if he does have a realtor.
And well, I'm not going to take business from another realtor, but if he's not represented, I'm available, Frank. So I just wanted to throw that in while we have the opportunity.
We'll let him answer that in
his part.
But, I know you're very active in Women's Council Realtors, and Houston chapter, was past president of the Greater West Houston chapter. WCR is a great group for realtors.
Absolutely.
And you've got a big event coming up next week. Tell us a little bit about it.
Ooh, we've got a fun event coming up for our realtors and affiliates. It's going to be a fashion show at the Mosaic High Rise on Thursday, July the 17th from 5:30 to 8:30. And the fashion show, we've got the runway built out across the swimming pool. Ooh. And they're going to have a lovely networking event and cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, and we're going to have silent auction items. So it's all coming together, and we're going to have lots of fun.
You got a celebrity
Linda,
DJ, not DJ,
moderator.
Moderator, yeah.
Yes, Linda Laurel, who used to be the newscaster on NBC, will be our fashion coordinator and moderator for the show. And tickets for realtors are $25 and $35 for affiliates.
And where can you get more information on this or get tickets?
Listen, we can sell them online at www.info@wcr.org.
Okay. So WCRHouston.org, I think, or WCR...
WCRHouston.org.
Email us at the show if you want more information, too.
Absolutely.
info@HoustonRealEstate.today.com, and we'll make sure it gets to Virginia or Sharon or one of the other folks.
Here's the other thing Steve got to say. No tickets sold at the door.
No tickets sold at the door. So if you're a realtor, you listen to the show, be there. So
be there.
make sure that you get your tickets in advance.
Absolutely.
So no just showing up. All right, Miss Virginia, thank you so much for being on the show. In a few
Thank
minutes
you.
remaining, how would someone get a hold of you? Website, email, phone, etc.?
Well, I would love it if you try to look at our new website. It's www.gracefinehomes.com. It's not quite complete yet, but it's up there, so you can take a look. And 832-252-7151. Grace
Excellent.
and Company.
And any questions for Virginia or any of my guests, you can email us at info@houstonrealestatetoday.com. We got to go to our first break, so don't you go away. We'll be right back with more great information.